Hello there, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for tuning back in for some FRS action, this time with PlayStation on this Sunday day. We are going to be going to Austin, can't say United States because we'll be visiting Miami a little bit later in the season. And of course, we are here at one of Herman Tilke's famous tracks that I absolutely love. We have two DRS zones, one heading up the hill to turn 1 and one in between turns 11 and 12. Winners in Austin have only gone on to win the FRS Drivers' Championship only 4 times in 14 opportunities when we saw this track. And even with the long, extremely long back straight, drivers will only spend their time about 62% of the lap at full throttle in dry conditions. Now, action zones, where are they? Well, as you would expect, after some of our DRS zones, we have turn 1, the uphill left-hander, where you can use that gravity assist to help brake just a little bit later and outbrake your opponent to get a move done. We also have turn 12, where it is also a very heavy braking zone where we can see some people diving a little bit deeper, trying to send it up the inside or on the outside, as there are so many different lines you could take through that sector 3. Of course, assuming that we're going to be having some dry running, we have the hard, medium, and the soft tires. Soft tires going about 8 laps, but really losing their pace after about a lap and a half or so, depending on how much you abuse them and how much fuel you got in them. Medium, will go about 16 laps, and the hards 21 or 22 laps, maintaining pretty decent pace throughout. Now, taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, it's no surprise that Dante is on top, having won both Spain and Belgium the first 2 rounds. Will he be able to win again in Coda? Or are we going to see somebody else take it? Possibly Mako, who has had a little bit of a bad luck run last time out in Belgium, where we saw him spin around early on and allowing Dante and Robin to have a pretty dominant race. Well, let's get down to the action. I am AWD Turbo Guy, and I will be joined here very shortly with LC Fighter as we are finally getting some cars out on track. It looks like, oh, what a bummer. It looks like there's no rain today. I am very disappointed. I was hoping at least one of the consoles would be getting some rain this evening, or this weekend, as we see Ray Rain, my favorite rookie. I think I've been pretty biased on stream, but my favorite rookie, Ray Rain, coming out, unfortunately having a DNF in their last time out, but they had a very, very good time in Spain, taking a podium, if I remember correctly. But we're riding on board with them as they're getting their tires all warmed up. This is probably going to be the only time that we see the soft tires. Again, as I mentioned in the pre-show, with the medium and hard tires being the likely tires that'll be going onto these cars for the race to make that one stop. I believe we have 27 laps, or 28 laps if I'm not mistaken, with the pit window opening up at some point in the middle. You know how it works, but we're riding on board with Ray Rain. We'll be joined by LC Fighter here shortly, and hopefully he'll be able to do a better job at commentating exactly what these guys are actually doing behind the wheel, as I tried doing some hot lapping around here before the race, and I could not break a 137, and I'm expecting these guys to be in the 133s, potentially some of them even breaking into the 132s. But I'm going to go ahead and try and get LC Fighter on the line here in just a little bit, as I am trying to connect with him, as Ray is going to be the first one to cross the line and start a flying lap now, as it looks like, oh, whoops. As they come around the final corner now, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, our current Season 3, or our current Season 6 World Driver Championship leader over an Xbox, LC Fighter. How are you doing today, buddy?
Hello, I'm doing good. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. I don't know. Let me know.
You definitely sound much better. In fact, just to be triple sure, I'm going to go ahead and crank up the volume. So that way they will complain that you are being too loud, as we're watching Ray Rain go around right now. You're one of your drivers. Congratulations on the team principal role. I know that happened overnight, but you're a championship leader. You just had your birthday last weekend, and now you are a team principal for the Tifosi. So, yeah, how's that feeling?
Pretty good, yeah. It's was not expecting to win on this track. It's not really a pad city, as it were, but it was a good race. Yeah, it was nice. I'm a bit disappointed to see dry running in this quali, but I'm sure we'll still have some entertainment as Ray Rain seems to be on quite a good banker lap. I think 2.8 for the middle sector is pretty strong if he can hold it together.
Yeah, I was telling him I had done some hot lapping myself and couldn't even break a 37, so I have no idea what a good lap around here is, aside from a 33.
There you go.
I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, there he goes, 33.5, just as we called it. So even with
that's a pretty solid banker, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. I don't even know if we had anybody break into the 132s over in Xbox, as Mako now jumps up into the 33.2.
That's a very good banker. Yeah, that will be very competitive. A 33.2, even if he didn't do another lap, that will still be. That could hold for quite a while, that lap.
Definitely, and he's one of the few drivers that I believe would actually be able to get into the 32s. Him, possibly Dante, but yeah, he's been on a different level in qualifying. But the race pace has been a different story for him. Not necessarily the pace, but the consistency with a couple of spins last time out in Belgium.
Yeah, I think he was saying, I don't know if other people have had the same issue, I assume they have, where it's the grip hasn't felt the same, especially in big multiplayer lobbies compared to practice lobbies on stable connection. I think it's partly just this game is unreliable and sometimes you just don't have grip for whatever reason, and then obviously if you lose confidence you lose even more grip because you're just not willing to push the car.
Yeah, but he did end up having a great recovery drive, taking the last step on the podium, even starting from pole and almost doing a last to first to midfield to third again. But hopefully doesn't have a problem again. Hopefully have a much cleaner turn one start as well, although this turn one is one where
it's a hairy corner, isn't it?
Yes, you can definitely send it pretty hard, being an uphill braking point, but I hope we don't see any kind of shambles this time around at the start.
Yeah, I think PlayStation are on. Is it? They got no formation lap, so they're going to be cold tires. Okay, so that will be slightly scary for everyone on the start. Thy Milk Menace gets what I hope is a banker in 42.7 at least. It is worth even if you kind of mess the lap up, it is still worth just crossing the line and just so you can have the delta, if anything else, so you can see on your next lap. Especially if you lost all your time in one corner, if you have your delta there, you can see that you're level with your previous lap and you know where the time is that way. At least it helps me, I find.
Yeah, as we see the next couple of guys, only 3 people have yet to set a lap time, one of them being AR21 and Bon Homie, who was caught up in that turn 1 shambles last time around, and YRG as well, who has done 0 practice. So we'll see how they end up turning out. But yeah, the time's currently all across the board, but I guess that's kind of what you get whenever you have just so many different talent levels in one division. But
yeah, Bon Homie mentioned last time, I don't know if he was joking, but he mentioned that he wasn't going to do quali so he could be at the back so he could avoid perishing, because the first couple of races, turn 1 had just ended him. But I don't know whether he's changed his mind now or whether he's going it because he's on an out lap, so that would suggest he is going to do a lap unless he's planning to give Dante a tow down the. I don't know how well these teammates know each other, but potentially he could be giving a tow down the back straight. It's quite long.
Yeah, we saw Petmeister and Lawrence do that yesterday in Xbox, and it seemed to help him out big time, as I think it put Lawrence in P4 on the second row for the start.
Oh, they did the tow in the end, did they?
Yeah. They did
obviously didn't see it, but nice.
Yeah,
I think it's worth quite a bit.
Yeah, it is, and so yeah, we'll see if that happens. As you mentioned, they're both on an outlap. Currently, the gap's pretty far right now, but I mean, Bon Homie could slow up. But yeah, starting from the back, that was kind of my strategy whenever Xbox just had one division. So divisions or seasons 1, 2, and 4 was it, where we just had 2 divisions, or maybe season 3. But anyways, I would just start from the back because there just always was inherent crashing in the opening stages of the race, and so if you're able to avoid that, you can end up in the points and really surprising yourself, which ended up working out for me in Canada in Season 1, taking a highest finish of P6 with what basically was Division 1, as we're riding on board with Bonhomme for his flying lap now.
Yeah, this looks like a push lap, so maybe he's decided against. Maybe he's thinking, get pole, and then you won't be near any of these guys.
Exactly.
So that's always one option. That looked nice. Oh, that looked like he's using a wheel. That looked really good. I don't know if it's fast, but it looked nice. So
yeah, I believe he
what was
is,
the first second split? 25.6 is not bad.
It popped up purple. Not sure if that's still the bug that
That could be Cody's being Cody's.
Yeah.
I think in our practices, I think Nemesis' best sector was a 25.2. So, but he was doing 32.7. So this should be quite on pace, I would say. See how much he cuts to the inside here. He's left quite a bit of margin there.
A little bit slower in that second split there.
Yeah, lost a bit of time in the middle, but it's still not bad.
Definitely not. So it looks like Mako might have. I'm looking at the track map. We see the sector flags popping up, and I think that's.
Oh, don't tell me.
Ray Rain and Mako having some issues with each other. Currently on both of them on flying laps. I think they're racing right now, so hopefully one of them has enough fuel to be able to go for another one. But this actually is going to be a decent lap from Bonhomme. He puts him right behind his teammate there.
Yeah, if they stay there for the race, that will be helpful, having the two McLarens possibly able to work together. I don't know what happened with Mako there, if he's way down. I mean, he should be finishing the lap now.
Yeah, I think yeah, that interferes with Ray Rain as he invalidates it now, and we saw Ray Rain probably going to drive into the pits here. Yeah, and I'd imagine Mako would as well. But yeah, both of them had a little bit of traffic with each other, and now both opting to go into the pits. As Mako cuts it pretty close there.
That was a bit sketchy. Maybe leave a bit more space for the race.
As Racing Scale just invalidates through the S's. Such a tricky section there. And especially with the cold tires that they'll be starting on in the beginning. I expect to probably see a couple of spins there, assuming that nobody else is going to be opting for the softs. And I'm trying to find somebody who hasn't invalidated a lap, as OJ Field's going to cross the line and jump up a little bit. Nope. They did improve, but not enough to jump over Furionics, who is on an invalidated
Only a
lap
tenth
right
behind.
now.
Only a tenth behind, though. There's some weird clusters. You've got kind of Mako and Ray Rain, and then they're in the 133s, and then you've got a little band, the two McLarens very close together. So yeah, there's some close spacing, but the close spaces are quite far apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah, oh yeah. I get what you're getting after here, as we're over the halfway point now for this qualifying session. Only two drivers have yet to set a Val lap, one of them being YRG, as he's coming down the long back straight there in that Williams. And I wanted to talk about setups. What is the optimal setup here? Is it low wing, high wing? Because there's just so many different types of corners and sections here, especially with such a long back straight.
It's a tough one. I mean, it kind of depends, I think, what sort of race you're going to be having. I think theoretically having quite high wings, so I ran 37.34, but I think that's quite high compared to what some people were running. But the question is if you're going to be in clean air or not, because if YRG has run out of talent on the triple right, or that's probably just rear tyres. You have to be a little bit. That corner is weirdly in qualifying. That corner is harder for some reason in the race. I don't know whether it's because you're just taking it easier in the race, but it's so easy just to flick the steering wheel and the car just says no. So I do sympathise with that one. Williams is going to go get a new set of tyres. But yeah, back to the setup. If you're going to be racing people and you need to overtake, the 37-34 just won't work, because you're just going to get close through the S's and then they'll pull away, especially if they're in a DRS train. So it's YRG's committing to start from the back.
I guess so, yeah. He's retired in the pits there.
Yep. So at least it was off track.
As it looks like I need to try and send Skyline an invite, so sorry about this. I really have no idea how inviting works on
See, if it was an Xbox, it would be clear.
PlayStation. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, played together.
Superior
Is it Thy
console.
Milk Menace? Yeah, it was Thy Milk Menace that left. Okay.
Yeah,
Add
that's right.
friend. Sorry, I don't want to be close friends with you. I'm just kidding. but-
Wow, we said no close friends on stream. It's just ended by Milk Menace on stream.
Oh, it looks like
That's-
it's not allowing me to invite him either through the game. Let's see if we can invite this way. No? Join party, send message. Oh, invite to game. There we go. Invite to join. Yep. Alright. Okay, hopefully they get back in there. As everybody's coming out for some of their last flying laps, one of your peers, Advocate, that we're riding on board with right now.
Yep. Hopefully, can improve on the lap. So look how much they. It's always interesting to see how much they cut this inside. Although it looks. That was very weird. That was strange, but it seems to have gained half a second. So, but although he does need to gain another 4 seconds to go past Ojo Fields, so this could potentially be a bit of an uphill struggle. But let's see, maybe he made a mistake in the final sector on his previous run. Oh, bit twitchy on the rear there. He comes across the line and does improve by quite a bit, but just not enough.
As we'll cut to Sick Fusion,
that is
who
an
crosses
interesting
the
line.
and, yeah, Furry puts him a second down on his lap now. I'd imagine he's gonna bail on this one, and well, he doesn't really have enough time with 2.5 minutes left. I guess we could see how much fuel. He does have enough fuel on board to be able to do it, but he might be setting up to give Sick Fusion a tote. Nope, as he's putting the pedal down. So I'm confused by what Jam Lad's doing right
too
now.
far away, I think.
And I think Sick Fusion just crossed the line too, so this is probably an in lap. Unless he's doing a double push lap here. I guess we can ride on board and see what his Sector 2 split is gonna be. Nope, he has his batteries on, so yeah, no idea what Furionics is doing. Maybe just recharging his batteries. As everybody
It
else
just
is
shows you
starting to come out now.
this first lap from I think this was his first lap. The banker was a 33.2, and it's 1 minute 50 to go, and it's holding. So that is an impressive first lap. It could be enough on its own, although he'll be hoping he can put a bit more daylight between, as there seems to be in all of the lobby at turn 12.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a big one for Mako, as he's kind of stuck in that group there, whereas his next closest competitor on the timing tower, Ray Rain, just has that all that fresh air around him, no traffic, but a minute left, so they might be cutting it close. I imagine that they'll probably make it just fine to the line in time for Ray Rain, but yeah, Mako hopefully.
It is Ray Rain at the back of the train there, behind the McLaren. Yeah, he should have the best of the track condition in theory, so we may want to go on board with him when he crosses the line to start his lap, because although I'm sure Mako will be trying to improve now. 33.2, that is a good banker. I think for context, Fraser's pole in PC1 was a 32.7, and I don't think anyone else got into the 32s in PC1, so he only needs a couple of tenths to get there. Oh, but it's invalid.
Ooh.
Sorry, Mako, I've cursed you again every week.
So
Every single week.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
That's all right. Thankfully, no damage to the car. Just damage to his ego yet again. As riding with.
So Ray Rain then in the box seat to get cursed. But let's have a look what he can do through sector 1.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was nice, but was it fast? 25.4. That will be right on the pace. That will be right on the pace for what Mako did as well. So this is going to be close.
It really is, and not to forget that we also have Dante behind as well. on a flyer. So if they're able to find a second, they could also be looking out for our current championship leader with 2 wins back-to-back. This time out, managing to avoid the shambles. I think it was him and was it Sick Fusion that just controlled the first 2 ones.
They were just relaxing. I reckon Ray Rain is right on the money here. He needs just under a 10th, I think, in the final sector. You've got to think with the track ripping up, if he keeps it clean. But this will be nervous moments for him now, especially through this corner. It's always nervous through this corner.
Yeah, where we saw YRG drop it last time out.
Flicks it in.
Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be so close.
I think he's got it, you know. He's a bit wide at the final corner.
Yes, he takes it!
Oh, he's got it!
He takes it, and Bon Homie, let's see if they're able to. It looks like they're down on their lap time. Yeah, I think Bon Homie the last one out, so wow. Man, oh man. The Ray Rain taking that pole from Mako the last lap. It makes you wonder what could have been if Mako hadn't been commentators cursed by you.
Yeah, so again, I've stolen another result of Mako.
And Bon Homie jumps his teammate there.
Yeah, Bon Homie's got his teammates, so that's good for Bon Homie as well. That was a good lap to finish.
And I guess one redeeming factor, though, is I believe that P2 is the better position on the start, if I'm not mistaken, for the grid. Although I could very well be wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in real life, P2 is pretty much pole position at the circuit because the inside is just so much better. And every time in real F1, you see the pole sitter try and go and cut P2 off. The way the corner is, it's so easy to get up the inside. But with cold tyres, it's tough to really have anyone's favourite. The gap from the front row to the second row is very big, but I doubt it will be that big in the race.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and especially we saw people somehow managing to make up like 6 positions in the beginning. That's the wrong screen there. But yeah, making up 6 positions at the expense of others. So you just kind of never know.
I get the feeling we're going to see that as well.
Yep. They just want to make the keep the stewards busy is all. I imagine that's what it is, but.
It works, trust me, it works. Just as soon as I see a race finish, the mod mail just fills. It's just popping off. I was disappointed. I have to publicly call Issei out on his report because we had 2 races with no reports in Xbox, and now we've started reporting. I'm heartbroken, although he was very clearly blocked, so. But,
yeah,
I think generally console seems to have fewer tickets, but
yeah, oh yeah, much cleaner racing than the PC side for sure.
It's very strange. I think PCR, the reserve division, is it's actually got one of the highest finishing rates out of all of the divisions. Which
that's insane.
It's so odd. Yeah, it's the one that is kind of people almost care less about it, but somehow I think if you care more about it, it should be a reason to push a bit less, make sure you finish the race. But I've said that, and now turn 1 is gonna
half the field. We're gonna have a reenactment of Spain. Well, I don't even think they'll make it off the line. I think everybody will just die again 100 feet from the start. So it looks like they're going no formation lap for these guys, so they're going to be on really cold tires. As iHunter just joining in at the last moment, as I'm waiting to see. It looks like from my perspective, everybody's on medium tires, but yep, go ahead, pull up that info. Yeah, everybody on the medium tires except for Advocat in the back on the hard tires. But
Micro's not a good start here.
There's the shambles.
One of the McLaren's a bit wide.
Somehow nobody died, surprisingly, through there. Just a little bit, of touching, but that's that was relatively clean. Props to them, as one of the Mercedes there cuts extremely hard, as this camera is not not the one. Is we'll go ahead and just cut and ride on board with Dante, our current championship leader, and see what's going to be happening at the front as people up and down are changing. I believe Thigh Milk Menace. Ooh, Dante looks to sit from so far back again.
Oh, that would have been a dive and a half if he'd made that. That was great for Ray Rain, though. He would love seeing that in the rear mirror, these two fighting.
Oh, man. My heart clenched there a little bit.
That was scary. That was very scary.
I imagine Dante is having a sigh of relief as well when they saw that speed difference heading into that corner there. Man, oh man, but yeah, Ray Rain having a good start. It looks like Racing Scale is catching up to the back. But what I was going to say earlier is that Thy Milkman is unable to rejoin the lobby, so that's going to be their AI driving for this race, similar to whoever it was last time out in Xbox yesterday. But yeah, it's a clean start so far. But we saw it with PC4, I believe, as Thy Milk Menace is rejoining.
I don't know. Yeah, they made it back.
There we go, and the fastest lap is working with this no formation lap disabled, so we will be getting that fastest lap point. I don't think anybody's actually won a fastest lap point so far in PlayStation, as it looks like there's some battling going on back here for P7 with OJ Fields in the Haas. Of course, what are these camera angles? Of course, we won't be seeing any DRS for this lap until next time they come around, but DRS trains are definitely a thing.
Yeah, they're a pain around here. I noticed that, by the way, she said about that camera angle, that every camera at COTA is in the floor somewhere, as it looks like AR21 is round at... and someone else is out.
Yeah.
YRG's in some sort of wall.
Oh, that's triggered an SC, as I just missed it. But yeah, you can see YRG back there. That is an SC. That's
full safety car.
Man, PlayStation absolutely...
Yeah, they deliver again. Honestly.
Oh boy.
After this season, the PlayStation safety car driver can literally retire. He's made so much money.
Oh, absolutely. And I would too for all that driving.
This is too early, I would say. I mean, if you're Advocat or AR21 or somebody who right at the back, then you might want to take a pit stop here and just take the hard tires.
Yeah, that was going to be something that we haven't covered yet, was strategy. Are the hards going to be able to last all the way to the end from this far out?
I think it depends who you ask. If you ask somebody who can steer a moderate amount into corners rather than what I do, then I think the hards are probably something like 22 laps. But, we got 26 to go. I don't think you're going to make it from here. The other problem is, obviously, if you pit for the hards now, you're going to come out... Well, even if Ray Rain pitted, he'd probably be last if he... So, although he'd be on a better strategy, he'd be stuck in traffic. Like we said with the DRS trains, he'd be stuck in traffic for pretty much the whole race, and that's going to be way, way more painful than just staying out. The mediums can probably go to about lap 12, lap 13, something like that. With no formation lap, remember the tyres will be a bit fresher as well, because they won't get scrubbed at all. So... I think everyone will stay out, apart from people right at the back who might as well just take the pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like AR21 is heading into the pits, but we saw them spin around, so they might have, and it looks like they opted for the soft tires. But I'm imagining that there was a wing change in there.
Oh, soft tires.
They are not.
To be honest, I'd go back in the pit and ask for a refund. The front tires for the softs go off like nobody's business. I mean, he'll be fast for a few laps for sure, probably get a few moves done, but that's definitely a committed. I mean, that's easily a 2-stop at least with soft tyres. The guys at the front don't really have an option. The other thing to note while we crawl around behind the safety car is track limit penalties are absolutely so easy to get on this circuit, and if you can avoid having any, you can win a race against somebody who's a lot faster than you. So especially if there's a safety car late in the race, because obviously the safety car bunches everyone back together, and those penalties, I think we saw in PC1, Spike crossed the line like 7th on the track and finished 2nd. Because just everyone in front of him had 3 seconds and there was a late safety car. So track limits, in my opinion, in this circuit, track limits is more important than actually being quick. But I'm pleased to say no one has got any yet, although we have spent 2 of the 3 laps behind a safety car, so it would be a bit painful.
I mean, we have seen people pick up track limit penalties behind the safety car.
It's so easy to
before,
do. You're just not thinking. You're looking at your tyre strategy. You're looking at your brake pressure or your diff, and then you realise that you're at the apex and you've got to steer. And you're like, oh dear. Those ones are the worst because you can't get it removed or anything like that. It's a genuine penalty, but you've not gained any advantage. You just, it's just a freebie given away.
Yeah.
So was everyone started on the mediums then, or did anyone try something?
I believe everybody except Advocat started on the mediums. I think Advocat started on the hard tires. Yep, there you go. You can see it. AR21, the only one who come in to pit. Yeah, they all have 3-lap old tires and stuff. I guess we could take a look at the position changes as well. Sick Fusion missing out big time there, dropping back 4 places at the start. And our front 2 guys. Bon Homie dropping 2 places as well, losing out to his teammate. I think Dante just had a much better start than Bon Homie.
That medium traction control, it seems to be quite good this year, though. It seems to be better than in previous games. People are saying that medium traction control, especially for race starts. I mean, Lawrence Boas seems to make up 12 places on every race start.
That's just pad traction.
He just flies. No such thing. It must be medium traction control. The Xbox start was very funny. You could see all the wheel drivers around me. Safety car in this lap, thank goodness. So
no more stalling.
Yeah, and please, we implore you not to have a crash immediately because we can't take more stalling. So we're out. We're out of things to say now. So we need. As everyone's just going to get warmed up with the tyres now. I wonder when Ray Rain will go. Hopefully he's aware that if he goes too early, he's going to get a limiter and there's going to be a multi-car shunt behind him. So he needs to just keep trying to get this. The rear tyres, that's the real problem with this. It's because the way to warm the rear tyres up is to do a cheeky burnout. But that can very often end in not facing the correct direction.
Yeah, we saw Cryptic manage to end the wrong way around during the formation lap yesterday for Xbox. Nemesis has spun around a couple of times as well, and Ray Rain really leaving it late. As you can see, Dante just so eager to go, as I'd imagine. Yep, there we go. Ray Rain is off, and we are back underway. I'll go ahead.
It's a good restart though. 8/10 down the pit straight that's a decent gap. It's a healthy gap. AMR's already going to be looking to make moves right at the back as well.
Oh yeah, as we can see, I'm already going at it with Advocat. Is very interesting stop. Heading up to T1, but that was, I don't know what happened there. Maybe he was told to give the position back or something like that. But again, the guys make it through cleanly.
Before the safety car line, I'm not sure.
Looks
that was a strange one.
Through cleanly though, as Sick Fusion looking to get ahead of OJ Fields ahead. Everybody on the same old tires and compound as well, except for those in P11 and P12. As AR is still trying to finally getting around Advocat, trying to get most out of those tires before they inevitably die next time around. As we'll go ahead and cut on over to CB Shutdown. Or actually, no, it looks like Mako might be getting really close to the back of.
Yeah, it was very close down the back straight. Very, very close, but Ray Rain still has the lead. There'll be no DRS, as I think DB Shutdown's got the move done into turn 13.
Yeah, and now OJ Fields is looking as... Oh!
That's round.
We've seen Jamlad Freonix in that position a couple of times this season, unfortunately for him. But medium TC's... I guess no. I think he's no TC. As we'll go ahead and go back to the front here. As Jamlad Freonix is still struggling to get the car.
Yeah, I think he might be round again. It's so easy with the hot tires though. Once you have one spin, it gets addictive for the rear tires. Yeah, the front three, like I said, I mean, in quali, Dante was 9/10 off pole, but doesn't look 9/10 off now. For sure, if if he can just stay in the DRS, like I said with the time penalties, he could very easily. And there we go.
Penalties. There
I've
you
crossed
go.
the lobby with a time penalty. It's
AR21.
AR21. Those soft tires, they've already given up. Oh, who's round?
As it looks like AR21 and Advocat's still going out, so those softs might already be dead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're overheating.
Now we'll go ahead and cut back to Mako. No DRS this time around, but he's getting an exceptional tow. Is he going to look to make a move? No, he's just going to stick to the back of Ray Rain here through the final sector. Or they'll be getting DRS next time they come around, I'd imagine, as long as none of them die again. So.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, Mako there was, I think, 3/10 behind Ray Rain at the end of the straight, and that was without DRS. I don't know what wings Mako's running, but it seems to be quite light on the wing, because on the straight he is really clawing some advantage back, not losing a load in the S's, and then in the straights seems to be gaining an awful lot. So it'll be interesting to see. But Dante's right there as well, half a second back. So they're all going to trade faster laps again probably here.
And there it is, DRS.
We've got DRS for the back straight.
So it's going to be as Jamlad now picks up time penalties. Yeah, managing to avoid plaguing these front runners with any kind of time penalties so far. But yeah, we're only 7 laps in as we have yet another car round. Looks like that CB shutdown with a damaged front wing. This is right out of turn 1 here. It looks like his rear wing is still intact, but we still have a yellow flag, or that's just not clearing. Yeah, okay. Jamlad is facing the right way around, but we'll cut back to these guys who are about to head down the back straight with DRS for the first time, and you got to wonder who's going to be able to get the move done. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Mako running so much less wing, as we could see that interval just drop so fast.
But will he actually be able to get it done on the brakes? Is the question. No, he's not quite close enough. But the question is how much is Mako pushing? Because if he's using a lot of his battery to get that close and Ray Rain's holding him off, that's great. But if Mako's just sitting there recharging and harvesting energy, he's going to be causing Ray Rain a lot of headaches later on. Dante's still just gamely holding in the DRS as well, keeping himself in the race. If he can just stay in the train, then he can do another one of his trademark strategies, it seems, this season, where he just seems to be in the right place at the right time. It's a good trick to have.
Oh yes, I think we've seen some people in this commentary booth benefit from that.
Well, you know,
I guess too, it helps when you pay your teammate to give you an essential
I paid him to
SC,
crash. Yeah.
But,
well, actually, I paid someone to hack his wheel. That was the real key.
We might see Ray Rain do that or Advocat do that for Ray Rain as Sick Fusion.
Or is Sick Fusion going to go around the outside? This would be lovely if he gets it done, but I don't think he's quite got enough. That's a shame. That would have been a nice move. But if he can stay close down the back straight, OJ Fields doesn't have DRS on the car in front, so he's got really nothing to protect him. And look at the grip; it looks like a big grip difference there.
It's absolutely on rails. Whatever is in that Mercedes car.
Sick Fusion, leak your setup. we want to know what it is.
We've seen Queasy Pluto strap a rocket in the back of his Mercedes.
I saw that.
Belgium.
Yeah,
and now we have Sick Fusion on absolute rails behind OJ Fields through those S's.
There's some hacking going on. Yeah, this should be a big twitch for the Haas as well. This should be an overtake if Sick Fusion kept it clean. He's only 3/10 behind at the start of the straight. DRS open there. That should be. He might get back on the racing line before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very easily done.
Nice. But he's been resent. Oh my goodness
me!
Wait,
I cut the wrong one. Sorry, I cut to the final.
They've survived. Everyone survived, and the Mercedes has come out ahead. That was a real resent.
Wow.
My goodness. Worth a go, I guess. It's that kind of braking zone where you can take different lines into it. That's kind of the good thing about this final sector. I think Mako might have stopped it.
He indeed has, as he's struggling to. Hopefully he doesn't.
All right, into the pits you go. Might as well go to the hard. He's staying out. Okay.
Wow, Mako yet again. We saw this in Belgium. We see it again. The world champion. It's a new Mako. Normally it would be a DNF or a race win, but yeah, new season, new game, new Mako, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a complete catastrophe. I'm surprised he didn't go straight into the pits just because those tyres must be screaming. But maybe they're not too. Oh, that looks a bit slidey, but it's okay. As long as they're not too much overheating, he'll get away with it. But I thought maybe it would be an opportunity for him just to get the hard tyres on, but I don't know what that is. That's what I mean about the lobby, the online lobby seeming to have different grip levels sometimes. I don't know whether that played a part or whether it was just. It's a bit of a, was it the penultimate corner that he went?
I'm trying to remember. I believe that's correct. It must have been. And I'm not sure if there's actually any contact. I know that the gap, they had been extremely close. And it's a sigh of relief for Ray Rain because now Dante isn't even close, anywhere near the DRS range of Ray Rain. So, yeah, I really don't know what happened with Mako, but, I mean, it's easy to lose it in a lot of these corners, especially even though it should be easier to follow cars, it's still not
yeah, and the
easy.
worn tires as well. Once they've had enough, it's all too easy just to lose. But this triple right every single time is, you're pretty confident that you've got the right line and everything, but sometimes he just catches you out and just says no, actually the front is not going to go in.
Yeah, we saw he puts in a fastest lap. I was going to say
this is some Hamilton-esque behaviour. 37.9 is good race pace as well, actually. If he's not been using much battery, that's pretty decent. He's gaining on Bonhomme, but the problem is that Bonhomme is Dante's teammate, and I can't imagine he'll be keen to let him by.
Definitely not, especially when McLaren is currently leading the championship. I can't remember who was behind them for these. I know that as we see OJ Fields now picking up time penalties. I do know that for Xbox it's the Ferrari boys and then Mercedes behind. But
yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure how. There's only one of the Ferrari cars that works.
Yeah, and it's kind of been the same story for McLaren as well. I mean, Bonhomme's only taken P7 first time out, and then he had a DNF in Belgium last time out. So only getting 6 points for the team. Everything else has been coming from Dante. So yeah, certainly we have the people who are definitely carrying the teams this time around for the console.
Well, Bonhomme's doing an even better thing now, because when Mako does finally catch him and gets in his DRS, Bonhomme has also got the DRS on racing scale. In fact, he looks at this stage to have a lot more pace than racing scale, so whether he'll try and get a car between him and Mako, but this is kind of perfect for Ray Rain. He's got the 1.5 seconds, there's no DRS threat. If he can charge his battery, although that gap, it's sort of hovering at the 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah, it looks like Ray Rain's just been managing that gap so far. I think when his Mako puts in another fastest lap there, he's within DRS range. You can see that rear wing open on the back there. So yeah, Bonhomme, you mentioned it. Bonhomme really needs to get this move done on racing scale. But Mako we've seen it before where one guy goes for the move, but the person behind actually ends up taking both places because everybody else was caught out and surprised by it. That's not going to help.
This is the problem. This is one of the least favorite thing about following. Like, this circuit's hard not to get invalidations, but when you're following other cars, it's
Set Fusion gone round.
It's so off-putting following other cars on this track. It's because you have to try and focus on your line, but you also have to make sure you don't steam into the back of the guy in front of you, as Mako seems to be a lot closer to Bonhomme than Bonhomme is to racing scale, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Will he go for the double move? Go on, Mako. From there. Dive it.
Do it. Oh, no. He does. Oh, he almost does.
He thought about it. He actually thought about it. He heard me and thought, don't be boring.
I don't think that was him actually trying to make the move on racing ahead. I think that was just him trying to outbrake Bonhomme.
Yeah, but he almost did an LC in Belgium there, where you just don't brake for the corner. Just tag whoever's in front.
But
nice. Yeah. Well, that's one done. But racing scale is really a cork in the bottle now, because the front two are slowly getting away, and racing scale
just opts to go for the
goes into the pit lane. Maybe he knew he was going to get overtaken anyway, and thought might as well do your own race. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, racing scale. I can't remember if this is their first time out with us or not. As we'll go ahead and see what tires they feel. I mean, I just imagine, it'd be the hard tires.
He just needs to be careful racing scale when he comes out the pits, because the hard tyre, sector 1 with the hard tyres, is not really fun.
Yeah.
and it's very easy to I don't want to say the word because I don't want to be the one who causes an issue, so I'm not going to say it. But you just have to baby the front tyres just for a lap. Maybe just hold it. I just hold it through. He's got the battery on. He's in 7th gear. Oh my goodness!
He's just fully sending it, but he's managed it. He managed to make it through the S's there.
Yeah. And every corner, the grip will just get better and better. There's another time. That one's for pit lane though. 5 seconds. He's got off those. He was so desperate to get off the soft tyres. He just sped in the pit lane. Just absolutely no danger. Hopefully, AR will be on the hards now.
Oh, who's gone round? It looks. I see the shutdown's gone round. It looks like, but I wanted to ride on board with Sick Fusion as they've also come into the pits. Both Mercedes have come into the pits and have fitted on their hard tires along with Racing Scale. So that's them done. And of course, we saw AR21 making that strange call to go to the soft tires. And I guess we could go ahead and pull up and see what they're rocking now.
Now they've
made a good call there.
They've gone for the hards, yeah. So if there's a safety car now, the top couple are, well, the top 4, well, not Mako anymore because he's boxed. Oh, and as I say that, there's the yellow flag.
Again. Yeah, so just waiting for the team boss of Ferrari to tell Advocate.
I'm ordering a safety car now for Ray Rain.
Well, it's coming up on that.
There was a lot of pit lane action now. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, Mako opting to go into the pits even this time around. Wait, what happened to? Oh, that's right. Yeah, we just saw it. Mako going into the pits. I was very confused as to why Bonhomie wasn't there. But yeah, Mako. Wow, it looked like the that overcut just barely or undercut, excuse me, just barely worked. And crucially, as you mentioned, he'll have those Racing Scale. That is, we'll have those warmed up hard tires, whereas Mako will be on ice skates right now.
There's another lap for Mako, stuck behind Racing Scale, who probably doesn't realise the job he's doing for the leaders right now. he's just doing his own thing, but him doing his own thing is really frustrating Mako, especially with this 3 seconds time penalty as well. So I'll be interested. I would imagine Ray Rain and Dante will be in this lap because the mediums will be getting towards the end of their life now. I don't know, 9 seconds, they should be able to double stack the McLarens, as long as Bonhomie remembers to tell his engineer, otherwise the mechanics just won't be there. So Ray Rain, I think, pitted.
Ray Rain's, yep, you can see on the map. Dante opting to stay out and potentially go for the overcut, but we've seen it time and time again. It's just the tires are way too cold coming out of the pits, that if you are close wheel to wheel, you're just not going to win that, even if you do end up starting ahead of them out of the pit lane. I mean, we just saw it with Mako and Racing Scale, just not able to get that move done. So, but Bonhomie into the pits as well. I don't know why it's not telling us who's in the pit. Oh, I guess.
Yeah, so Bonhomie. So the McLarens have split the strategy basically. Bonhomie's covered the same strategy that Ray Rain's using, and Dante's going to extend for one more lap. But the question is, when Dante, what we'll probably see is Dante come out the pits ahead, but if Ray Rain's close enough, there'll just be no way to defend it because the tyres will just be so cold. It's honestly so bad driving on the cold tyres. I can't explain.
And the hard tires. Oh, the hard tires.
Yeah, the hards as well.
A different beast as well.
Yeah. I think I came out of the pits yesterday with Nemesis just behind me, half a second behind, and I thought I'll just defend for a couple of corners and they'll warm up, and I didn't get to defend for one corner because the grip is just not there.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on Dante, as I'd imagine that they'd want to head into the pits now and see where they come out. Ray Rain just having a nice job controlling this lead. Essentially this this provisional lead, as if indeed Dante does come into the pits now.
So the question is, will Dante come out ahead, and if he comes out ahead, will he have anything to be able to defend? If he can make it to the end of the S's ahead, then his tyres will probably be warm enough, but I don't think it's likely. Ray Rain's coming through the last corner now. They're going to be close. In fact, it looks like Ray Rain's got it.
Yeah.
So he's preserved roughly that advantage that he had before, the 1.6 seconds, but he's going to just pull away now with these warmed up hard tyres. Dante's going to struggle for a few corners.
As we saw, Mako putting in the fastest lap while we were watching that pit battle. Mako chasing down Racing Scale. Was able to manage to get around Von Homie. And now looking at Racing Scale, but man, it's tough through those sectors following those cars, especially on these hard tires. Thankfully, the fuel load's a little bit lighter for them, but yeah, those that understeer is just massive for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's not comfortable following. It's distracting and is understeer. It's not the one Diamond Menace has joined the
Welcome
penalty
to
club.
The club.
Yeah,
Go ahead and take a
Mako
look.
should have the move down at the end of this straight. You would think he's
Right.
2/10 gaps, just dropping. Will he go for the
Oh.
lunge? Yep.
He does. Is Racing Scale gonna fight back? He wants to, but yeah, Mako doing a good job defending and trying to hold on to that position, even with
Mako's
Racing
going to have
Scale.
to cover the inside here. Yep, he did cover that well. Otherwise, it would have been an immediate resend from the Williams there. There's a yellow flag for...
Was that Ray Rain or AR-21? I know that Ray Rain was coming up to the back of the okay, yeah, I believe it was AR-21. It looks like they're struggling a bit.
Yeah, having a few goes at reversing that car. Well, there we go. And
Oh no!
oh,
Oh no! Yeah, those hard tires.
we didn't need that. Didn't need that piece of wing. It's fine.
Weight reduction. That's all that is.
The thing is, though, AR is clearly having, a bit of a nightmare here, but you just got to think, if he finishes the race, he only needs 2 DNFs to get some points. So, it's worth just sticking around, and ideally with some front wing, but it's worth just staying at it and seeing what you can do.
The CB shutdown looked like they had a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ray Rain's got that gap up to 3.8 because of that difference with the tyre temperatures on the outlap.
Yeah, Ray Rain. Oh, my favorite rookie of the PlayStation crew. I'm rooting for Ray Rain. I was very heartbroken whenever they crashed out and last time early on in the race. But it's looking like a great redemption drive here in Austin.
Yeah, we need it, Ferrari. We did not have a good day yesterday. Overall, it was obviously good for me, but there were a few issues in a couple of the other divisions. So we need some points. The Sick Fusion is overtaking Diamond Menace.
Yeah, Thy Milk Menace.
On the back straight.
We saw them pick up some penalty points, and yeah, that move's pretty well done. As yeah, you can see those lights flashing on the back of Thy Milk Menace's car. I think that move was a long time coming for Sick Fusion, just having a much better pace than Thy Milk Menace. But Thy Milk Menace able to stick around for a little bit. But I believe that yeah, Sick Fusion is just gonna drive off into the sunset now and focus on OJ Fields ahead. As AR-21 coming in to change their front wing. And I wonder what kind of tires they're going to opt for this time. Soft tires.
Oh no.
That.
Not again.
I imagine that's going to be a Jeff call. And of course, they had that 5-second speeding in the pit lane penalty the other time when they went off their soft tires.
I think the problem is here. He wants to stay. He ideally wants to stay on these hards, but he can't because they have to do a change. So yeah, he's sort of got no choice but to do what he's done. Though those softs are not going to feel good. Well, they will for about 1.5 laps,
yeah.
and then it's going to be back to misery, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we saw
So Mako is
coming in as well.
slowly gaining on Dante, but with the 3-second penalty, his priority at the moment, I guess, is just getting ahead of Racing Scale, getting that gap up to 3 seconds or 6 seconds in case he gets another track limit warning. But there's a yellow flag in
AR not
sectors
having
1 and 2.
Not having a fun time today, I'd imagine.
Is that another spin for AR?
Yeah, with those, which I guess is kind of interesting given that they are the soft tires, and it seemed like they were a decent way into the that first sector, so I would have expected them to be somewhat warmed up, but yeah, this is a weekend to forget for AR, even with the front wing still intact, the new front wing still intact, as Mako puts in a fastest lap. He's definitely trying to chase down Dante, or at least get that gap that you mentioned earlier to a Racing Scale. You can go ahead and take a look at those penalties.
Yeah, if he can get... So has anyone got 6? So Furionics and AR21 have got 6.
And then we saw Advocat pick up the speeding in the pit lane penalty last time around, last lap. So, yeah. But yeah, not the place Mako wants to be with those penalties. Everybody around him managing to avoid picking up any. So, yeah. Again, not a great race for Mako. Great qualifying, absolutely, but. This is probably going to be another one to try and put behind him when we head to Austria next weekend.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's Austria next weekend as well.
Where there's absolutely going to be rain, or else I'm going to cancel the entire league if there is not a single race with rain for the console guys. Yeah,
Mako is closing that gap, but I don't know whether 11 laps left. He's kind of hoping the cars in front also get 3 seconds. If Dante gets 3 seconds as well, there's a chance that he'll catch at this rate. I mean, it's going to be close.
Yeah, and that was something I wanted to ask you. We know the soft tires just immediately die, and the drop-off is extremely harsh with them. But Dante does have fresher hards by a couple of laps, and is that going to be a factor towards the later laps of the race with if Mako is able to catch up to him? Will that grip difference actually be noticeable with these hard tires as it would be for, say, softs or not?
It shouldn't be too much. I mean, it won't be like the softs where 2 laps could be seconds. It might just be that Dante will have a little, if he's got slightly fresh tires, he'll be able to push a little bit more at the end, but I don't think it would be any more than a couple of tenths. It really just comes down to whether you're still comfortable on the tyres. As long as you're comfortable with the hards, you'll be okay. It's if they go off completely, especially at a turn 11, before the long straight. If you start getting that wrong, I think Ferrari might be round. Is that Advocat?
Yeah, that was Advocat. I got a bit nervous because I saw that red dot pause there in the yellow sector.
Oh no, please no.
But yes, it indeed was Advocat, and AR21 being, it was a lap down, so not actually gaining a position when they overtook them. But yes, a lot of spins. Again, we're seeing this with as Sick Fusion finally caught up and overtakes OJ Fields in the Haas. So that should be a comfortable P6 for Sick Fusion. I believe both he and OJ Fields are sitting on 3 seconds worth of time penalties. But yeah, I don't even remember what I was talking about earlier with Advocat spinning around. Anyways, yes, words, all that good stuff.
We love words, we do indeed.
Poor AR. Still just
not again.
Not enjoying. This definitely has to be a weekend to forget for them.
But it could still be points. This, I'm telling you, 2 DNFs.
Yep.
2 people bang wheels. They fly into the fence. AR gets points against all odds. It'll be the greatest comeback since Lawrence.
Yeah, from banned to P3 yesterday. That was
incredible.
His
pace is just getting better.
Incredible story.
Better and better.
I heard Netflix is actually going to be doing a documentary on his story. So,
so Mako's got that gap down. The gap to the front 2 is, I feel like it's frozen at 3.7 seconds. But Mako he's chipping away. I don't think he's going to be chipping away enough though, unless Dante's tyres go off completely and he starts getting turn 11 wrong. Obviously, that massive back straight. If you start getting that wrong, you're talking half a second you can lose down there. But other than that, I don't think with this 3 second penalty he's going to be able to. As the gaps now, what is the smallest gap between 2 cars? 3.5 seconds.
I think Dante to Ray Ray. I think that's OJ Fields, but we saw Sick Fusion just overtake
Fields as well.
Yeah, we saw Sick Fusion overtake them and just have a much better pace than OJ Fields. That was another one long time in the making. So yeah, it's I guess this is just Austin. It's a fun track to hot lap, but yeah, you can get some spacing happening, and even when you are close, you just have these DRS trains forming up, like we saw on Xbox.
Yeah, you do.
It has way too much runoff. We saw, like 60 yellow flags in Xbox yesterday. Not a single SC or VSC.
Yeah, I was grateful, to be honest. Every time I saw yellow flags, I was like, please game, let's not do this.
Yeah, and it's been
An interesting thought, just for in terms of always thinking about if there's a safety car or a VSC. If there was a virtual safety car or a safety car now, Bonhomie has a pit stop window over Sick Fusion, so he can just put soft tyres on, and actually, he would probably become the favourite to win if he did that. In fact, if a safety car came now, all of the top 5 have kind of got to think about putting soft tyres on, because if they don't and the cars behind do, they are going to be in agony for the last few laps of the race, having to defend. Because whilst the softs are useless for a race stint, on low fuel, after a safety car restart, they are the tyre to be on.
Oh yeah.
So that was me trying to jinx a safety car into existence. It's not worked. So we'll go back to... we'll just go back to it.
I think you only have that power over Mako to jinx him.
Let's not do that.
I guess Mako caused a safety car for us, potentially.
We'll just ride on board with him now, and if we do it.
I mean, we know that last season he loved to crash as those clouds get a little dark, but I don't think there's going to be any rain coming. But yeah, we know he liked to crash or win last season, so maybe he could return to his old form.
He did have a loss of, but he won, I think, 7 races or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was, and they're including that one in Austria where he did a very good comeback on. He put the slicks on with a couple of laps to go, and it dried out, and everyone else was on inters, and just flew up the field. So, but it's looking quite controlled. He's managing the fronts quite well. He is still closing the gap to Dante, but yeah, it's a big ask.
It looks like Dante has seen that too and has started to close up to Ray Rain ahead too. It was sitting in the high 3 seconds earlier, but now it's under 3.5 seconds, that gap. So I think Dante might have a little bit of pace in their car still as well. But yeah, you can see Mako enabling that battery and trying to catch him. But man, carrying that 3-second time penalty just really changes the way your mindset and who you end up racing, I'd imagine.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
And unfortunately, it looks like we can't get Mako to give us a safety car as... he does spin.
You have to apologise to him now.
No, I'm not going to apologise because he didn't even cause an SC, so it was pointless.
He's let racing scale back through.
Yeah, so okay, I do actually feel kind of bad for him now, but I'm not going to apologize because he didn't give us an SC. But yeah.
Goodness sake. Yeah, he's going to need... So he can still get a podium, but he'll need to do what he did a while ago, which is overtake racing scale again, and then get that 3 seconds.
I don't remember the laps the amount of laps it took for him to get that gap to racing scale, but it seemed like it was more than the current amount of laps that we have left. Not to mention he still has to actually overtake racing scale, and I haven't seen that gap really close that much.
It's a big ask. Bonhomie now picks up 3 seconds as well. That helps Mako quite a bit.
Sigh of relief.
He was quite close. Yeah, he was quite close. So now you can see, as I said earlier about the time penalties, the top 3 are the 3 that haven't managed to pick up a track limits pen, and that's not really a coincidence.
Yeah, and that gap too to Dante. Well, I was going to say it looked like it was closing a little bit, so I wondered if Dante was looking to try and get within that time penalty window of Ray Rain ahead, but no, I think Ray Ray has responded. But yeah, Mako's still struggling to closes up real close to the gearbox of that Williams ahead of him. But yeah, Mako still not getting around, and maybe Mako just doesn't think that it's worth the overtake because he doesn't have his racing skill really left the door open there.
But he's got a good switchback racing skill. He should have a better line through here, but Mako's just ahead as we get an awful camera angle, and thankfully they don't bang wheels. Oh, it's close though. It's good side by side. This
it is. So Mako's done it, but racing scale is going to have that DRS, and I don't know what their battery levels are either, but we know that Mako is running a little bit less wing. But yeah, that gap
looks like he's got away with it, Mako. Can he get the 3 seconds though in 5 laps? It's
5 laps, yeah, excuse me.
It's not going to be very easy to get 3 seconds if he... Well, it's not going to be easy to get 3 seconds without getting another 3 seconds
Yeah,
from
definitely.
time penalties. That's the problem. And he
it's-
got that first 3-second penalty very early, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's on, well, what would be 5 warnings now.
Yeah. And he's... Oh, is he going to be able to break that 1 second DRS? I mean, they're coming up to it now, and yeah, Racing Scale will have DRS, but... boy, oh boy. Tough luck for Mako. Oh. Yeah, I'm speechless. I feel for him. Don't feel... I'm not going to apologize, alright? I said what I said and I meant it, but it's... I do feel a little bit bad for it.
Oh, I think OJ feels he had an issue. Maybe not. That was just the time jumping from 9 to 10 seconds. The gaps are... I thought Xbox had big gaps. My goodness. Yeah, Racing Scale just needs a lap or two, if he can possibly manage it, a lap or two in DRS, and Mako won't break 3 seconds. But if Mako can get the gap to 1 and then 1.5, there's a chance maybe that he might be able to drop Racing Scale. As there's yellow flag.
Looks like CB shutdown.
Has he given us our safety car? It would be perfect timing. He hasn't. Boo! So we wanted a safety car. We don't. Wow. Ray doesn't.
Mako did break that 1 second, but is that Furry Onyx or Sick Fusion spun round? Sick Fusion round. The Mercedes driver there spun round, but they have a big enough gap, I believe. Now Furry Onyx right on cue. He spins around too. So yeah, Racing Scale hanging in that 1 second range. Mako did break it, but the DRS detection point was already, they'd already crossed it, so that's why Racing Scale had DRS down the start-finish straight, but it looks like, yeah, they won't be getting it this time around, so they've finally broken it as Thigh Milk Menace is now spinning around. Okay, there needs to be a new rule in there that if you're not going to cause an SC, don't spin around. This is pointless.
I agree. Should be penalty points for spinning without causing a safety car.
It is absolutely pointless.
Yeah, Mako's not got enough, it doesn't look like, to... he needs 2 seconds in 3 laps or 4 laps. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. And the only thing I would say that's going to stop Ray Rain with 3 laps to go is either a mistake or if the back marker traffic decide to not cooperate. I don't know if ghosting's on in PlayStation or not.
I imagine it is.
But even so, the back markers, just their existence is enough to send you mad when you're trying to take the S's. So that's another. Would it be possible to look at how many warnings the top 2 have?
Yes, we can do that. We'll cut from the action here a little bit. Race director. Maybe not. Race director. Oh, there we go. Okay.
And let's see if Ray Rain or Dante have any warnings. Well, that's just everyone, is it? If you click on their lap times.
There we go. 1 warning.
So he's got
just 1.
1. Wow, that's
1 for Dante as well. Let me take a look at Mako, and they've picked up another 1 as well.
So they're at 4. So they need another 2 for another penalty. Okay.
And, what about? Oh, that's interesting. Racing Scale is also sitting on that. So that's
2 warnings.
Yeah. So that's something else to keep in mind as we're in the closing stages of this race for Racing Scale to avoid picking up a penalty, because right now he would be on the podium, but if he gets 1 more track limit penalty, that's his podium gone.
He's got to balance pushing to keep Mako within the 3 seconds, but not push. There's the same thing I had yesterday where you want to push, you want to keep the gap small, but also if you show them if they see 3 seconds, if Mako sees Racing Scale get a 3 second penalty, he's just going to be able to back off and get the P3. He knows P2 is not going to happen with any, in normal circumstances. So I can see Ray Rain is now coming right up behind the Mercedes of, I assume that's Ferionics, hopefully, who is going to cooperate into turn 1. This will be nervous times for Ray Rain. This is in the S's as well.
And we've seen that gap close too to Dante. He's now under 3 seconds, as I think that those hard tires of Ray Rain's have started to fall off now. Or not necessarily fall off, but Dante just has that tire advantage heading into these final stages. But yeah,
look at this. Get out of the way.
Oh, I think Ray Rain wants to get that DRS too. So
yeah, Ray Rain's been smart now. He might as well. He's been blocked all this time. He might as well get DRS for his troubles out of turn 11. Has he actually timed it properly though?
I
It
think
looked close.
he did. Yep, there it is. It's open now.
He's got it.
He did just able to do that, which is going to help him out big time on that fast McLaren behind, or faster McLaren behind, excuse me. As Racing Scale continues to stay within that crucial 3-second gap with what essentially is a lap and a half left in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be close. We might have to stay on board with him, see how brave is he going to be through turn 12 with 2 warnings and a podium on the line. Is he going to cut this, or is he going to leave a little bit of a gap?
Yeah.
He's left a lot of that's sensible driving. You don't say it often, but missed the apex a little bit there, but get away with it. So it's a question of, can he just not drop a second in one more lap? It's going to be close. I don't know what I can't see the battery percentage, whether Mako's got a little bit left, but you'd assume they're both going to be pretty low now.
Looks like Racing Skill has some in the tank. Looks like it's around 60%, and yeah, Mako's sitting just under 30% there, so...
wow, I mean, Racing Skill, if he's got that much battery, should be fine. I mean, the back straight, he can pull out 3 or 4 tenths easily, deploying all of his battery, so... CB shut down with Pezzi. I had a heart enough moment, thought that was Ray Rain. That would have been scary.
The clouds are getting darker. I think we were going to be getting rain at the wrong time. It needed to come in a lot sooner.
It's going to be on the podium celebration. It's going to be wet.
Oh, what a bummer.
Oh, that was close. Oh my goodness, that was close.
Oh, and that spooked him. Oh, yes, and that's helped out Mako so much. But
2.8 with 2 sectors to go, but has he got enough deploy down this back straight?
Oh no, there it is! There it is!
Oh no, and it's
just
on the
wide.
entry as well.
Wow.
Oh. I think
Heartbreak.
Mako might have DRS from a back marker as well.
Guess we could turn around.
I'm not sure if he actually has... Oh no, maybe not. He was close, but it wasn't close enough. But it doesn't matter now. I mean, as long as Mako doesn't go and get himself another 2 or have a spin, then yeah, he looks like he's just got away with it, which is extraordinary. He's, I have to say, a little bit lucky with the 2 spins to get away with it, but he did have good pace, so probably about right. But feel for Racing Scale, we just I mean, it's a weird corner to invalidate. I bet if he took that corner another 1,000 times, it wouldn't be an issue. But Ray Rain, congratulations on the win, and Dante P2, they were in their own little island out front for this race.
Yeah, I think Dante will continue to hold on to that lead, along with McLaren boosting that. But yeah, Mako, amazing being able to hold on to the end. And that, wow, you look at that gap, 2.6. I'm sure Mako backed out once he saw that Racing Scale got that penalty. But man, it really came down to the final lap. Whew.
Yeah, he just brought it home once he saw that penalty. Bonhomme is about to cross the line. I think has the fastest lap as well, so that's another point from McLaren, who are starting to take the mick here. They've just, I mean, Dante's extended that advantage again over Mako. I don't know exactly what the lead was before this race, but it's got to be healthy after Spain.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead and.
I think did Dante win both the first 2 rounds?
He did. Yep, he did. And no fastest lap points, so it's just 50 points. But to Mako behind 34, so it's a 16 point gap currently. Well, previously.
And then he'll have gained another 3 from today as well.
Yeah.
Because he'll have got 18 and Mako 15. So, but Ray Rain is in the game as well.
Yeah, can't write
good win, good pace. Very good pace. Didn't really have a lot to say about them, to be fair, but that's a good thing when you're leading a race, I think.
Yeah, yep. We saw that with, even with you and Nemesis earlier.
We had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were off. Super hard. It was a bit sketchy, some of the racing. I wanted to win, but I also wanted to finish, which is always a bit of a trade-off when you're pushing. But Ray Rain looked like he drove. I think the last race had quite a couple of mistakes, but looked like today it was not on the edge. It was just controlled. You know, in a almost sort of in your box, just in the comfort zone. And the gap, just like I said, it just stayed at 3.7 seconds. It felt like got the pit stop right. Dante will be pretty happy, I think, with that.
I would imagine so, especially after starting P4 on the grid, and yeah, nice job for him to bring home some huge points and help out not only his championship lead but also the constructors, with Bonhomie bringing home that extra fastest lap point. So yeah, and as you mentioned, we saw it come in towards the end there. The time penalties here at this track were just, it played an important role all the way
Yeah,
to
the top
end.
two kept it clean, and
See everybody else having
yeah, a multitude of penalties. AR21 on the 4-stop. I think we should say well done for actually just carrying on, because like I said, it was only 2 DNFs away, and it could have still been points.
Yeah.
So fair play for sticking out. A lot of people would have just gone to the pits and retired. So I'm almost tempted to give driver of the day just for sticking at it, but
yes.
I feel like,
who is your driver of the day then?
I don't. It's kind of hard to look past Ray Rain after that. Just sort of the perfect race, really. You know,
Yeah.
good pace, and then the only thing that could have caused a problem was the safety car restart, which he nailed, and the pit stop phase, which he seemed to come out with, somehow extend the gap with that overcut. So yeah, I think that's got to be driver of the day for me, Ray Rain. I'm not biased though.
No, I am biased. I'm not racing at all. This, as my microphone just started to fall apart. But I'm not racing. I'm just racing as a reserve driver over at Haas. But I like Ray Rain. I really like their driving style. We saw them going elbows out. That's kind of always, one thing when you're new to league racing. You don't really know, if you don't really know the people and their driving style, and you also don't really know exactly how to behave coming from open lobbies. But from the get-go, we saw them doing clean but elbows out racing. So yeah, I would give it to Ray Rain, but you already gave it to them, so I'll give it to AR21, as it is their first league race with us as well. So I was correct in thinking that, and yeah, sticking out all the way to the end. That's, yeah, I mean, we've seen some guys in Xbox certainly not do that. So but yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, congratulations to Ray Rain in the Ferrari there.
Yeah, it was a great drive. Deserved win.
Definitely. But I gotta hop off now for the PC Div 2 race. I believe that's coming up next on this channel. So make sure that you guys stick around for that. I believe there's going to be Quimulus and Herringzord covering that. But thank you, LC, for joining me on this stream, and we will see you guys next week out in the Red Bull Ring.
Take care.